Morning! Right then, I thought we would try one last video, hopefully, of the beer machine power usage stats. So we've now got, hopefully, the last figure for the energy price usage for the new energy price guarantee. They're all saying now on the news and the media it's sort of looking like 34p. They're still saying it's an average. I worked off 37p for the previous one because that's what the numbers came out at. But let's go with 34p, that's what they're saying, that's what they're telling people. Still had nothing from my Sainsbury's Energy. They've not told me what I'll be paying yet come the 1st of October. So hopefully we will find out soon. It seems nuts that everyone's going to get the pants pulled down and yet no one really knows what they're paying. But anyway, it's what it is, isn't it? So what we've got more data in there now, we've got more last few days in there. The Perfectdraft Pro is starting to drop the power usage with the cooler days as they come in, and we're also seeing the ratios dropping from, like, obviously on the hot days we'll sometimes see like 4, 5 times, 6 times the power of the blade. It's now dropping for the last sort of week or so, so it's using about 3 times more power than the blade. So that's pretty cool. So that's good news. It means that obviously the PD Pro must just be really sensitive to hot temperatures, which I guess it's struggling a bit more with those, and that's why it's sucking more power to get rid of those temps. But if that keeps coming down, well, who knows what we'll see. To be fair, it might be that the PD Pro over winter comes down to like 2.5 times the blade. We'll see. Time will tell, I guess. And then I've not got any more sub figures because I just did that for 3 days, and then I've turned that off because I need to get rid of that, to be fair. I think, anyway, I'm still not decided on that one. But yes, let's have a look what the numbers come out at, shall we? PD Pro, 1.7 kilowatts per day average currently, at 34p. It's working out 58p a day cost, £4.7 a week, and £17.44 per month, or £212.21 a year. So bearing in mind, these new energy price guarantees, you're going to be fixed for 2 years, so you're not going to be fixed just through winter, you're going to be fixed through summer as well. So obviously the numbers that you saw in the previous page, where it was sometimes using 2 kilowatts a day, potentially that's going to be the same next summer. So you're going to have days where it's going to cost less than that 58p, you're going to have days where it's going to cost more than that 58p. So I've got a month's worth of data in there, so it hopefully gives an idea, but as that was summer, then hopefully that means in winter it's going to cost a bit less. But we'll see in a year what it all works out at. Blade, 15p a day, £1.02 a week, £4.39 a month, and £53.36 a year. Sub, cheaper again. What I did with that number, those with eagle eyes will see that the previous tab showed 0.39. So that was on days where I worked out that the blade was using 45% more power than the sub, which is actually quite impressive when you think the blade is 8 litres and the sub is 2 litres. So the blade is obviously the most efficient out of all the machines. So I took that 39p, took 45% off, came out with this 0.27 per day, and then that's looking like, so a sub costs you 9p a day, 64p a week, £2.75 a month, or £33.50 a year. So for those on a tight budget, the sub is not too bad. Obviously you're just paying more for the beers because the price of the torps has sort of been creeping up over the last few years. The blade is, I've got to admit, in terms of the deals and stuff at the minute, the blade is certainly beating all of them in terms of the deals you're getting, because they're doing, I've seen in the last few months, 10% off, 20% off, 25% off. Even Desperados was, what, 45% off? I know a lot of people don't like that, but that's a pretty good deal, to be fair. PD, they're looking at, what, 10% off per keg these days? You've lost the 15% group discount, so they did mention something might be coming back, so fingers crossed we will see that at some point. But yeah, you've got it there, look. So if you're using a PD Pro over a blade, you're looking at around £160 a year potentially. It might not be as black and white as that, because obviously, like I say, it's going to cost less in winter, and because the firmware keeps changing, I think last winter I dug through some emails and I was seeing about 1.2 kilowatts per day through winter to 3 degrees on the PD Pro. So if it's hitting 1.2 kilowatts in winter, going up to over 2 kilowatts a day in summer, the number's going to vary. If we just pump that into there, look, let's just have a look. In winter, if it's using 1.2 kilowatts, That's 41p a day at the new rates, £2.86 a month, £12.24. Oh, yeah, did I get that? £2.86 a week, £12.24 a month, £148.92 a year. So it's going to vary, isn't it? That's not too bad. That's not too bad, to be fair. I think it's not out of the reach of anyone, is it? To be honest with you, it's not out of the reach of anyone. That hopefully, it depends how much we'll be paying for wheat when that runs out. But yeah, let's see. So there you go. There's your numbers. It does look like something's potentially changed with the algorithm on firmware 1.75 on the PD Pro. It's just slightly more keen to do shorter cooling cycles. One thing that I'd reported in the past to them was that it was leaving the Peltier on for a long time, and there was lots of reports of it overshooting temps and stuff like that. Whereas now it's just doing shorter cycles, so like turn the Peltier on cool, turn it off, turn it on cool, and you can see that from just the steps. So I've got to admit, the thing is the temperature's dropping as well, so it could be temperature related. It's a difficult one to tell, isn't it? Is that firmware 175 that's reduced that? Because you can sort of see the step change where I was getting 1.73 kilowatts, 1.72 kilowatts, 1.7 kilowatts, 1.78 kilowatts. Firmware 1.75 dropped to, I think I finally got it on the 7th of September. So it took 2 or 3 goes to go onto my machine. And so from that point onwards, about 10:38, yeah, that's when firmware 1.75 went on. And then it sort of still showed those quite big, the Peltier was on for quite a long time, and then it was an empty keg pretty much, so I emptied the last pint out that evening, put a new keg in from the fridge. You can see the Peltier just turned on constantly from 20 past 6, and it was on pretty much until midnight, and that was a keg that was already at 3 degrees in the fridge, and then it just kind of reverted to this slightly, you can sort of see there's more steps, so it means it's on and off more often. So hopefully, if that is a firmware thing, then fantastic, because that's potentially dropped a bit of power usage. If it's temperature related only, who knows? I guess we shall see. We shall see. It's the only people who are going to know that are the ones who've got, like Stevie, who have got the one machine with one firmware on, one machine with another firmware on, sat side by side, same room, and you can sort of see how they behave differently. But anyway, that's good news for everyone else, hopefully. Let's have a look. Well, I've got a bit more data there, look. You can sort of see, since firmware 175 hit, the average date has dropped, and the average temperature has been kind of similar. It's more, it might be the PD Pro struggles a bit when the temperature seems to go above 16, 17 degrees ambient. That's when it really starts to use a lot more energy. So if it's below that sort of temperature, then it seems to be getting more efficient. So happy days if that's the firmware. That's mega, isn't it, really? So I will stop this video now. I've gone on for another 8 minutes, so I didn't mean to. You've got your running costs. Hopefully that's more indicative. Now it's at 34p. It's looking better than what it was, so it's not as scary as when it was 56p or 62p. And yeah, let's see what happens in 2 years, I guess, when these numbers change again. So I'll probably be teetotal by then. Right, then, have a good day, drink lots of beer,